What's up, man? Y'all know what it is. Y'all know who it is. Y'all know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit me up, all that good stuff. Let's get into the show.
Brothers and sisters, have y'all not realized by now that us voting for Democrats is really just us voting for other ethnic groups to benefit from our vote? And this is what Democrats do. They always bring up black people first. They're like, oh, yeah, we know black people have been through oppression and da 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 in this country, but we got to support immigrants and we got to support LGBTQ and we got to support all of these other groups that ain't black people. And if you guys would just wake up, it's obvious that they've basically just been using us as a political tool to further agendas that don't benefit our community. And does nobody find it odd that we as black people continue to vote for Democrats that basically push policies that will bring more immigrants into this country? And what do the immigrants do when they get into this country? They create communities and isolate themselves, which is the exact thing that black people in this country opted out of in the 1960s. We didn't want to isolate ourselves or continue building within our own community. We wanted to integrate with the white people, which frankly I think was a mistake. I think if we would have kept doing what a lot of these immigrants are doing in current day, we would have been a lot better off. And yeah, we would have not been integrated. However, we would have not been destroyed and continuously gone down economically within this country. So I'm just genuinely confused why black people in this country continue to vote for Democrats. Like, there has been no substantial improvement over the past 60 years that would warrant us voting for them every single election. I just don't, it's just not computing with me. And I'm not saying vote for Republicans instead. I just think that we need to reevaluate voting in general. Like, why are we voting for an apparatus that doesn't support us? It's a very simple question.
Because the blacks that vote Democrats are stupid. They've been using us as a political tool. Where do most, especially older black people, go? They go to church the most. And what do churches do, particularly the pastors and bishops and priests? They sell hope. So when you, and I want y'all to do this, you can test this. The next Democratic, whatever kind of office it is, right? Whatever next Democratic candidate, whatever it is, whether you're talking about presidencies, whether you're talking about midterms, whether you're talking about governors, mayors, senates, whatever you're talking about, right? Look at the Democratic candidates, right? And see what they say. And if they're selling you the same script, and you could compare them, if you're not tech savvy, ask somebody who is. You can compare them. Watch they say the same thing and give you the same script. And they know black people on the left are going to fall for it every time. They know it. Black people on the left are going to fall for the same script every time. It never fails. It never fails. So when you see people on the right that are black going against it, they see people on the left who always fall for the same script. They have to then question their intellect. You have to. It's because it's like, how intelligent are you to sit here and keep voting for the same kind of person who tells the same kind of script and nothing changes? How long are you going to keep doing that? Are you ever going to break out of the cycle of voting for the same kind of people and watching nothing change about your life or the country? Or are you going to be like, you know what? I'm not sure I should vote for you because you're saying the same thing the last person said and nothing changed when they got elected. So, but you know, Officer Tatum says it all the time. We were doing so much better as a people when we were segregated. The thing was, the civil rights movement came in and they kept trying to force integration. So it's like when those people were trying to force segregation, we were doing great. And then we started trying to force integration. And then, we're here now. Let's go to the next one.
Black Americans are starting to lean more conservative, and I don't know if it's just me, but it seems pretty obvious. I mean, a lot of us were raised around conservative values, things like God, family, structure, organization, personal accountability, modesty even. These things were very normal in Black households, especially middle-class Black households. Now compare that to more liberal modern-day values, which are things like self-expression over tradition, questioning institutions, prioritizing individual freedoms, including redefining family structures and gender norms. And these really are just the social issues that I'm talking about, because personally I am independent politically, which means I can vote for either side depending on the content of their character, the laws that they want to push, etc. But in terms of societal values, yeah. Obviously, in my opinion, neither side is evil, even though that's what y'all want to think about each other. The real divide is worldviews, which shapes your values, which means that you have to decide which values you think will create a stable society. And we see how that has absolutely nothing to do with your race. Exactly. So as someone who shares a lot of conservative values, at least socially, I am not surprised when people use those values to influence their politics. It seems kind of obvious. Let's be honest, if some of our favorite Black historical figures were alive today, do you think they would be marching with the gays and the days? Be so for real.
Nothing that triggers me more and that I hate seeing than is American women complaining about the freedom that we don't have in the US. There are women, specifically women in Iran, who cannot show their face. They have to get their husband's permission to go abroad. Feminists here in America would hate that. Hate it. They cannot protest the government. ICE protesters. You would probably be arrested every time you hold up an ICE sign protesting the government, okay? The LGBTQ community, y'all would probably be dead. There would probably be none of y'all in Iran or other countries. I'm so tired of seeing people in America saying how we don't have freedom when all you have to do is search up what women can't do in other countries, what other people can't do in other countries. Women specifically, when you see what other women have to go through and what they can't do in other countries, you will be very proud to live in America. And if I was one of those women in those other countries and I see Americans protesting and being all mad, and them being able to speak on what they believe in, but them also hating their president and complaining the fact that they don't have freedom, I would be so mad as a person in another country seeing American women like that. We have freedom. It may not be what you want specifically, but please go look at the other women in other country and you will realize that we have so much freedom.
This is what I be saying about people on the left. Those people on the left who've never been outside of this country. You've never been outside of America. You don't know how any other country works or operates. You honestly don't, because you've never been there. You've never been outside of this country. I don't want to hear nobody on the left who's only been born in America, only lived in America, and never visited outside of America. You only know America, that's it, so shut up. You don't know how any other country operates. You can't say our rights and freedoms are being taken away, and you never been to a country where you can't even protest the government, while currently living in a country where you're allowed to protest the government. You will be way more heartbroken if you went to another country and you protested their government and they beat you in the street. You don't know how that feels. You really don't know how it feels. Because when we even get to what happened in Minneapolis and all of that, we get to the point where these people were defiant physically. Physically, these people were threatening, these people were doing something. But for people in other countries, they literally are just march and hold up a sign, and the worst is done to them. This is why I don't argue with, and people will sit there and say, oh, but you hate being black and you want to be white and all this. I come from the hood. Me and my mother were homeless. I was living out of a motel room with my mother, catching the school bus from a motel while living with my mother. Never knew my father. I'm like, going to bed with Christmas candy for dinner, because my mother was working to keep a roof over me and my brother's head. And I never knew my father. And my brother wasn't there. I'm home by myself with nothing to eat. I don't know how to cook. So I'm eating Christmas candy for dinner. Like, people so much want to say you hate being black. And No, I don't. That's why people see me now and be like, oh, well, you probably came from this background. You don't know where the hell I came from. Shut up. I was homeless with my mother for a while. People don't understand why I went through, and they want to sit there and say, you hate being black, you want to be white. Like, no, I don't. I just know I never want to be looked at as that ever again. And I don't mean black. I don't want to be looked at as poor, homeless, broke, all of that ever again. So I make sure me and my wife and my son, we never go through anything that I went through growing up. That's what that is. And like she said, all you got to do is Google, are women property in other countries? And then you will see on the list of countries, you'll see the one that you're out there protesting on behalf of. It never made sense to me when it came to Iran and all of that, and Venezuela. It never made sense to me how people here who've never been outside, who nevertheless never been to the countries that they're protesting on behalf of, but they never been outside this country. And they have the nerve to sit there and say, we stand with these people, not even knowing how these people were treated. How are you mad for people that are happy about what happened? How are you mad for them? Tell me how that makes sense on the left. How are you on the left and say we stand with Iran and we hate what happened with Iran, and the people in Iran are celebrating in the streets and happy? How are you mad for a whole nother country that's happy? Because then you got to look yourself in the mirror and be like, well, maybe I'm stupid and I don't understand what's going on. You idiots. Y'all know what it is, man. Like, comment. If you like the video, comment. If you don't like it, fuck off. I don't care about you anyway. Subscribe, hype me up, all that good stuff. All negative comments, you waste your damn time commenting them, because I'm just going to delete them, you dumbass bastard. I'm just going to delete them. Anyway, y'all know what to do. Till next time, I'm out.
I feel like I'm good on my own. Don't need nobody beside me.